The overcharging of patrons in Irish nursing homes was a violation of the rights and abuse of the trust that many had placed in this state. But it's not the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last time. Thankfully, the exposing of this issue by a whistleblower, Mr. Shane Carr, has resulted in the issue coming into light, and the true extent of the charges and the impact they have had on the lives of patients have been exposed. But for the whistleblower, wherever would we be? No matter what way the government dresses this issue up, the facts are that overcharging of vulnerable patients in Irish nursing homes between 1970s and the 2000s was wrong and devastating exploitation of some of the most vulnerable members of society, elderly and disabled people. Shocking. The fact that the issue was covered up by successive governments only added to the hurt and the anger of those who were affected. And I say the system as well, that serves those governments must take some responsibility here, and Secretary-Generals and everybody else that are on such high remuneration. We know also, we now also know that over 300 legal cases have been taken related to the state's handling of nursing home fees. The matter has dominated the political agenda since Irish Mail on Sunday first reported on the secret internal government document which detailed the strategy to minimise the cost to the state. Imagine secret documents to minimise the cost to the state. In a year we celebrate the 100th anniversary of people Liam Lynch in a number of weeks' time, gave their life to free our country, and that's what we're down. This is the way we're treating the people. How callous can a system be? How more callous can it be than that? And I also want to say, to support others who have spoken about the nursing homes, the whole disparity between private and public nursing homes. The fact that public nursing homes are getting over €620 a week more to cater for a patient than what a private one is. So that is huge discrimination, and the fact that they have to go to the European Commission for Justice. They've been lobbying the government here and governments, and it's shocking because there are many of them in my county, from Carrick-on-Shore right up through Clonmel, Clare, Cashel, up into Turles, Simplemore, Nina, and right up to Larrow. Who are under savage pressure with the cost of living crisis, with the staffing crisis, and to try to retain staff because the public nursing homes can pay staff better and pay them, give them a better job, more certainty, because they have discriminatory practice favoured by the government again. So it's a shocking situation, and that has to be rectified. Europe will find, I'm sure, in favour of them, but you'll be dragged kicking and screaming again, Minister. We now know that successive governments, as I said, before 2011 up to the present day, devised and have applied strategies to deny refunds to people who were allegedly charged nursing home fees. The state faced the prospect of $12 billion in compensation for hundreds of thousands of families wrongly charged for the care of their loved ones over a 30-year period. The central allegation with the scandal is that the government, even knowing it could not win in the courts, sought to contest the cases, and they only settled when people proceeded with legal actions. I'd love to know what they paid in legal costs, what the state paid in legal costs, or what they continually pay in legal costs. And we have the experience of the late Vicky Field and many others who had to drag them, had to court the state through the state, and we all stand up blowing tributes then when she was deceased. It's a shocking indictment on a democratic accountable government as it's supposed to be. This is a controversy that's stretching up to 30 years. Successive governments and health process have been found to have failed to remedy the grounds for illegal charges being imposed on mostly older people. How many people are involved and how much will it cost? The document stated that the exposure of the state could be as large as $12 billion. By 2011, up to 70,000 people were considered eligible for refunds. But in the end, 35,000 applications were received, and the state paid out $486 million on almost 20,000 cases through the HRS. This meant that around 15,000 applicants were refused refunds. Bank refusal. Where's the compassion? Where's the empathy? Where is the respect for these elderly citizens? People who built this country, who gave us the life that we have today, who worked hard and paid their taxes and raised their families, and we didn't have much and didn't ask for much. And unfortunately now they'll still be doing it, or still at home if they had a position to be able to stay at home. The government had said that the issue has been grossly misrepresented. However, this assertion is nothing more than a tactic to hide the facts and the cover-up of the wrongs of this diabolical overcharging scandal, which had the full consent of many and several health ministers, including Micheál Martin and Taoiseach now Varadkar, when they were in the department. The Taoiseach Deputy Varadkar has serious questions to answer about his personal involvement with the while health minister into the secret nursing home charging scandal, designed to subvert actually the natural justice rights of citizens. And that's what it was. And anybody that knew about it should be aware of that as well. Designed to subvert the natural justice rights, I said, of the citizens. They reported over 300,000 vulnerable elderly residents directly impacted, many of whom have since passed away, God rest them, and their respective families who have suffered extreme financial hardship because of the consecutive health minister's actions must be told the truth. The Attorney General was due to produce a report for Cabinet this week. That report should be made public and should be provided to each and every one of us here in the Oireachtas ahead of this debate, but we didn't get it. But we'll probably never see the light of day. We need to know if the Attorney General's report is meaningful or merely an attempt by the Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael and the Green Party now to remove the heat from this diabolical scandal by kicking it onto the Attorney General's for cover. And we've many AGs have looked at this, so the office and the whole teams down there must take some responsibility. We can't be hiding one behind the other. Depriving those affected of their legal entitlement to full reimbursement is heartless and cruel. Failure to come clean and deny these families the truth is abhorrent and sinister, especially as this heartless legal strategy needed the approval of the serving health minister. At the time, we need to know if Taoiseach Varadkar and other serving ministers in their current cabinet agreed to extending this disrespectful and deceitful practice. Clearly, the Taoiseach's explanation of his involvement into this cruel scandal is not credible. A disgusting issue has been swept under the carpet for too long. The public must be provided with transparency, openness and accountability, which we hear so much about it. And we have millions of pounds in of spin doctors' teams in there to get out the message and spin and spin and spin and spin. And how can anyone have faith in the system that we have serving us when this is going on? When what's going on with the banking scandal and who paid the piper there? The ordinary people were meant to carry the bank, and the bondholders and junior bondholders who had insurance bonds on their lendings, reckless lending, I would say as well, into this country, went off scot-free. We decided with the bankers. Minister Pascal Donovan, one of his last acts before he left Minister of Finance to take up public expenditure, gave back the bonus to a cohort of bankers who needed it badly because they were only on $1 million or so a year. So we did have a cohort minister of ordinary people, and we all stood and clapped for him. Nurses and people in nursing homes and care attendants, many working for agencies, who still haven't got the widely acclaimed €1,000 that we're going to give these people for dedicated service. Why is it that we're discriminating against citizens who are care assistants and nurses in nursing homes and some other private settings when we were supposed to give it to each person in the healthcare? So why do we announce it in such fanfare if we hadn't the money to pay for it, or if we hadn't the goodwill to honour the announcement? I mean, we make contracts with people and it's a two-way street. People give a service and they do their very, very best. The enemy, they're a and they give great service. And now they're gouging and ringing my office and all your offices every week to know when are they getting that pounder promise. Many of them took a well-deserved break and maybe bought something for the house on the strength of it, and they're still waiting for it. And will they be waiting like the people are waiting to get back their money? How long more are you going to keep them waiting? Will they be waiting until the cows come home? So where is the respect for this staff? Where's respect for these families? Where's respect for the disabilities? Where's respect for the elderly and vulnerable people who you literally wrongfully charge this money and then fight them through the courts? It's not seen in this House and hasn't been seen by successive governments, and it's getting worse by the week. Good.
Thank you, Deputy.